Hello and welcome to End-to-End Solution Architect session. Today I'll be talking about how to initialize Terraform offline. So in this Terraform Advanced series, I assume that you have basic understanding of Terraform. Now the next step is to explore the solution of some critical situations. If you are an infrastructure professional, you may have experienced some situation where you are asked to set up Terraform, but definitely you will not have the internet connection. It is basically due to a very secure system you are working on. So in this session, I will guide you how can you achieve initializing Terraform offline or a complete internet isolated system. So let's proceed. And I will be showing the steps for Ubuntu, Windows and Docker as well. So let's proceed. Now, as per the business case, let me elaborate a bit. You know that when we are using Terraform, we are running init, apply, plan, all this. It pulls the registry files and the modules from Terraform public registry, which needs internet. Okay, so when you are in public internet, you don't need to bother about anything because it will automatically pull. But what happens that when you are into a private network where you are completely internet isolated, so your servers don't have internet accessibility. In that case, there are few steps you need to follow to initialize Terraform. And you always know that when Terraform initializes, it pulls all the provider files, modules from Terraform public repository one time. But again, whenever you run Terraform init for the second time or you do Terraform plan, it checks that whether the provider's version modules you have already in your project are they updated or not. So basically that time also it scans from the internet, means the public registry. But in case of private network, you will not get that advantage of internet connection. So it cannot pull and ultimately Terraform will fail. So the solution is, first, in any public network, you download the Terraform packages. So simply you install Terraform and define your packages, I mean provider packages, and then download it from public network. I will show you every steps. Now the second thing is transfer packages to the isolated system, means internet isolated system, after some security checks as per your organizational policy. So you downloaded your Terraform packages from a public network in your organization, then you have done all the security scanning required as per your organization policy, and then you transferred those packages internally into an internet isolated system where actually you need to set up your Terraform. So here in this case, as you see that we don't have this internet connectivity, we basically need to set up a file system mirror in Terraform. I will show you how to set up that. And once we set up this file system mirror, then Terraform init will work in your internet isolated private network. So now let's jump into the hands-on part. In this session, I will be showing the steps by using one Ubuntu instance. So I have already provisioned this Ubuntu. I just provisioned, I didn't even update it as well. So I will show you each and every step. And I have connected my putty to this. So first thing we basically do that sudo apt get, and it has updated all the Ubuntu packages. Cleared the screen. Now our first thing is that install Terraform in this Ubuntu instance. I know you'll be aware about that how to install it. I'm showing it very quickly. So go to terraform.io downloads. Here you will get the instruction for Linux, and I'm just copying it and running these commands. And now it is sudo apt get install Terraform, and Terraform has been installed. Let me create the screen, and I have just checked the Terraform version. It is Terraform 1.1.9. That's fine. Now you may have noticed that when I downloaded Terraform, definitely this Ubuntu instance is connected to the internet. That's why it was able to pull the Terraform installation files and packages. Okay, so if I ping to google.com, we are getting this ping response, right? So it is connecting to the internet gateway, basically internet. Now at this moment I have only the Terraform installed in public network, and what I need basically the Terraform packages for particular providers. Suppose here in this session I will be using AWS package. So let's now pull the packages for AWS provider. Okay, so let me create a directory first. I have created one directory. Let's go into that directory and create some files for Terraform, so that when I run the Terraform, means I try to initialize the Terraform, it will pick up the particular provider packages. So let me create a file versions.tf, and I'm just quickly pasting this code over here, which is Terraform required version greater than 1.1.8. Currently we have 1.1.9, so definitely it will work. And required providers, it is AWS. Source is HashiCorp/AWS version 4.5.0. Now let me save it, and you know that it will pull the required package for AWS of version 4.5.0 from HashiCorp AWS Terraform public registry. So I'm just saving it. That's fine. Now we have this versions.tf. This is the only file we'll have. Let's run Terraform init. And before I click on enter, you see that currently in our Terraform directory we have one single file, that is versions.tf. Now running Terraform init, and you see it is initializing the provider plugins and pulling all the required packages from internet, means from Terraform public registry, and still we are at public network. This Ubuntu instance is connected to internet. That's why we are able to pull. So again, I'm coming to that diagram. We are still at this side where we are in public network and we are downloading the Terraform packages. And now let me show you where are the packages downloaded. So if I do a ls-a, you see that there are few more files created. Okay, that is, one is .terraform.lock. You know that purpose of locking mechanism. I'm not going into that, but our focus is on .terraform this directory. So Terraform has downloaded all the required packages into this .terraform directory. So if I go inside that, it has the providers, and providers has registry.terraform.io. And if I go into registry.terraform.io, you will find that it has HashiCorp, and then after HashiCorp you will find it has AWS, and inside AWS you will get the required version for AWS 4.5.0, which we mentioned in our versions.tf, and inside that we have required packages. So I am not going into deep what are inside that package. So basically we have downloaded the .terraform directory with all the providers packages from Terraform public registry. Now let me clear the screen. So we are inside the Terraform registry and we have the versions.tf only, not the version.tf only, but we have this .terraform and .terraform.log as well. Now let me do Terraform init once more. What I want to show is that once you have for the first time downloaded all the required packages, will Terraform look for again downloading the packages? So Terraform init, and you see initializing the backend, reusing previous version of HashiCorp/AWS from the dependency log, using previously installed HashiCorp this version. So basically it is showing that it is using previous version which has been already there, but it actually scans the public registry part as well. So as it is saying that reusing previous version of HashiCorp from the dependency log file, let's remove the dependency log file and see what happens. So remove dot terraform.log dependency, and we don't have the dependency log file over here. And now let's run Terraform, and I see that when we removed this dependency, what it did, that it started initializing, finding HashiCorp AWS version matching 450, installing this. So again trying to install this. So it is pulling those packages, or at least scanning from the public registry of Terraform. It is only working because it is in the public network. This instance has internet gateway connected, internet connection is available, that's why it is working. But definitely it will not work in the private network where it is a completely internet isolated system. So our next step is that we have already downloaded these Terraform packages. Now we will shift to a system where we have complete private network, we don't have the internet connectivity. Now it is in this session, it is not that I'll be shifting this whole package to a complete different system, internet isolated system. I have just reconnected over here, and we have our Terraform directory and we have our versions.tf. So in this session, when I am connecting this instance via internet, if I detach the instance from internet, I will not be able to connect it. So I will keep this instance connected with internet so that I can connect to this instance, but I will show that how it will not pull from the internet. But I will show the mechanism where Terraform will not look for the internet and will use its own cached Terraform packages on. Okay, so let me clear my screen, and we have the Terraform packages over here, which is basically .terraform directory. And our next step is to create the file system mirror. So to create the file system mirror, our first step is to create a Terraform cache directory. So I'm creating a Terraform cache directory in user home Ubuntu. Okay, you can create somewhere else, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm just creating one mkdir directory over here. So I want to pull or keep all the Terraform packages here at one place all. Now let's move into this tf cache, and now create one file called .terraform rc. Now remember, when you are using any Linux system, you will be creating this .terraform rc, and when you are using Windows system, means you are creating this file system mirror in Windows system, you will create the file name will be basically .terraform.rc. remember this, sorry, not .terraform, for Windows system it will be terraform.rc, but in case of Linux system it will be .terraform rc. So we are creating this file as .terraform rc, and inside the .terraform rc we have to mention the provider installation configuration. So basically I'm copying a part of code over here for the quick guidance, and here you see that we have the provider installation. We are mentioning that create a file system mirror, and the path will be that where is my TF or the cache registry we are creating. So let's update this path. It is basically our Ubuntu user home directory. So let me write it like this: home/Ubuntu in our case, home/ubuntu.cache, and the same thing is for plugin cache directory. It is same for the Windows system as well. Your paths will be different. And disable checkpoint, true. And one thing you might have noticed that we have one include part, which is saying that include registry.terraform.io HashiCorp, this directory. It means that it will look for this registry.terraform.io directory inside this TF cache. Okay, so let me save this file over here and let's move back. And currently we have two directories. One we created for the Terraform projects and another we created for the Terraform cache, which is TF cache. Now in our TF cache provider configuration, we have seen that we have provided the path for this TF cache and for the registry.terraform.io. Okay, so what we are going to do is that let's go to Terraform folder, and now let's browse inside .terraform, and here we have providers. So even inside providers we have registry terraform.io. So this is the part, this is the directory we have to transfer to our TF cache directory. Okay, so what I am doing, that moving this dot registry to here, and it should have moved. If I do that ls, I am not getting it anything. Okay, so let's move now. We are here. Let's go to Terraform once again to show you that what we have currently over here, .terraform. Let me remove it. So I am just remove it. .terraform, I have removed it. Even I am removing this .terraform.log file. I have only versions.tf into my Terraform project directory. Let's go to Terraform cache, and now it is showing that it has the Terraform registry directory, and it must have the Terraform RC file which we created over here. Okay, so what basically we have done, that we have created a configuration file which is Terraform RC, mentioning the file system mirror configuration, which will look for the registry.terraform.io, this directory, and this is the Terraform package which we downloaded from the internet, and we are creating a cache with this package. So the Terraform should not look for the internet, it should only take these packages from the cache, because in your internet isolated system it will not have the reachability to Terraform public registry. Okay, so the configuration for our file system is done. Now the next thing is that we have to set few environment variables for Terraform. The first environment variables is TF plugin cache, which is actually export TF plugin cache directory, and it is the name of the directory where we created this. So it is basically home Ubuntu TF cache, and click enter. And the next one is export TF CLI config file. So it is the config file we have created, which is Terraform rc, and now the same path, home, Ubuntu, tf cache, and the file name was .terraform rc export, and just verify by echo that whether it has properly set this environment variables or not. So it is tf-cli config file, enter, and it has set this environment variables. Okay, now let's go to our project folder, which is basically the Terraform directory we created. Here is our Terraform directory. Let's go to that Terraform directory, and in our Terraform directory we only have this versions.tf. okay, now we will run Terraform init. So it is supposed to take the Terraform packages from the Terraform cache directory, should not look for internet or should not look for Terraform public registry. So let's run Terraform init, and you see it is showing that initializing the backend, initializing provider, finding Terraform this, using Terraform from the shared cache directory. I request you to give attention on this line, which is saying using HashiCorp AWS from the shared cache directory, because it is now using the shared cache, which is the tf_cache directory we created for Terraform packages. Now let me show you one more thing, clear my screen. Let's see what are the files it has created. So you see that now this time it has created this .terraform, this folder definitely, but it has pulled the packages from the tf cache. So anytime when you run this tf init, it will look the packages from the tf cache, and it is saying that it is this time it is using the previously installed HashiCorp 4.5.0 because it has this .terraform directory already into the working project directory. But again, if you just remove it .terraform and do this Terraform init, it is saying that using HashiCorp AWS from the shared cache directory. Okay, so let me take you once more to the file system mirror configuration, so you will understand that how file system mirror is helping to create a local Terraform cache directory, so it will not let Terraform to look for Terraform for public registry every time. This Terraform cache basically helps to increase your performance for the Terraform execution as well. So we are going to tf cache and let me open .terraform rc, and let's see once again this provider installation, file system mirror. We have mentioned the path for this tf cache. We have included this registry.terraform.io, which is basically the directory where we already downloaded all the packages, and then we did set up two environment variables. So I hope you understood how you can create Terraform file system mirror and create Terraform cache, which will prevent the Terraform to look for Terraform public registry, and it will increase the performance, as well as in any internet isolated system you can use this technique to initialize Terraform. Till this session it was with the Ubuntu system, but when you are using Windows system, it is exactly the same steps, only the name of the file system configuration file, which I said it is .terraform rc. In case of Windows, it will be terraform.rc, and that's the difference. If I will share the code and the link of this article where I have mentioned every steps, and in case of Windows as well, that what are the configuration is exactly the same, but for Windows it is terraform.rc, but in case of Ubuntu it is .terraform.rc. That's the difference. And in case of Windows, when you are setting this variable, how you can set the environment variable, that is the part mentioned every step by step over here. I will share this link in the video description. Now our third part of this session is using Docker. So we will install Terraform in Docker, and we will use this file system mirror when we are running Terraform on Docker. And let me show how we can do this. So let me clear the screen. So our first thing is that in this Ubuntu instance, we didn't install Docker. So we have to install Docker. So to do the Docker installation, for a quick guidance, what I recommend that you go to that Ubuntu side, Docker side basically, for installing Docker on Ubuntu. And this is the site I will be referencing for installing Docker on Ubuntu very quickly. So I am just copying this commands here very quickly. Just it updated first, and now what we are doing, this certificates for the next is add Docker files official GPG key. Now for the stable registry, for the stable repository, run this command. Well, now install Docker engine. Just before Docker engine, we will be updating this instance one more, and apt install Docker. We basically don't need this Docker Compose plugin, but as it is here, so I am just copying it, because we will not be using the Docker Compose, at least in this session. Well, we are done with the Docker installation. We'll just test the Docker whether it has installed properly or not, just by running this docker run hello world, and it's running. Okay, so in our case our Docker has been installed, and we have our Terraform already installed in our system. Okay, we installed Terraform in this Ubuntu instance, which is not usable for the Docker, because for Docker we have to run one Terraform image, and to get that HashiCorp Terraform image, let me show you where you can get that. So if you open hub.docker.com and go to that HashiCorp Terraform, you will get that. Just copy this Docker pull HashiCorp Terraform from here, or you can particularly select any version from these tags, but I'm doing the latest copy only. So let me go there, do this sudo, and it has downloaded. So let me check the Docker images. And you see that we have two images, the one for the hello world, initially we tested Docker, and the next one is the HashiCorp Terraform, which we just downloaded from the Docker Hub. Now let me clear the screen. We have these two directories, one for the Terraform, which is the project directory for us, and another is the TF cache, which is the cache. Okay, now when we will run this Terraform Docker, we need to map the volumes for these two directories, one for the project and another for the TF cache. Well, so far we have created the Terraform cache by file system mirroring. Now we have installed Docker, and now I'll be showing how we can run Terraform on Docker, where you are using Terraform cache only for Terraform initialization. It will not pull from the internet. So I am in the home directory over here, and there are two directories, that one is Terraform, another is TF cache. TF cache is our Terraform cache, and inside Terraform we have that small Terraform file, which is versions.tf. Just doing a cat for version.df again to show you that it is to initialize the Terraform from the required version 1.1.8 and using the providers AWS. Well, now to run this Terraform on Docker, we have to run this command. Now it is, let me explain this command, and I'm just adding sudo because I have not added this current user in Docker group. So it is sudo docker run. Then it is the current directory I am mapping with data. So I'm creating a volume over here. So we are currently in Terraform directory and our Terraform files are inside that. So when we are running the container should pick up the file from this working directory. Okay, so that's the reason we are mapping this volume over here. We are also mapping the Terraform cache because this cache Terraform directory is in the virtual machine. It is not in the container. That's why we are mapping this Terraform cache as well. Then we are passing two environment variables. One is tf plugin cache directory and another is CLI config file. Okay, and we are adding the image name, which is HashiCorp/Terraform 1.1.8, and init is the command for Terraform. Now press enter and you see that it has started initializing and it has completed successfully. Now I request you to focus on this line. Using HashiCorp AWS 450 from the shared cache directory. So it is considering this provider packages from shared cache directory, which is tf cache. Okay, and if I do ls over here, ls -a, so you see that we have this terraform.log.acl over here, and there is a new directory .terraform. So it has pulled this .terraform from the Terraform cache. So this is how you can run Terraform on Docker, and by using Terraform cache in your local system or by file system mirror, you can execute Terraform init in any internet isolated system, because it will not look for the packages from internet if it is there in Terraform cache already. I hope you have got a good understanding of how to create Terraform file system mirror, how to create Terraform cache in an internet isolated system, how you can initialize Terraform, also how to run Terraform on Docker container. Thank you for attending this session. In my next session, I will show you how to create Terraform custom modules. The advanced tips and techniques for Terraform modules I'll show you. Thank you for your time. Bye for now.